Good morning, all of you beautiful souls. So happy to have you here today. We're looking forward to our meeting. A little bit deeper waters. While we do go into deep waters, this week is a little deeper than usual, and we're hoping that you will join our conversation, whether here at the end of our service or in our Discord group for those that are our members. All right. So, welcome to Nakama Spiritual Center, our Sunday service. We are here on Shekinah Farm. Please mute your mics and turn off your camera until after the service. We will have an opportunity for a more personal connection during the discussion time, or as I said, in the Discord group for those that are members. Um, I'd like to explain a little bit about who we are. Nakama Spiritual Center, the word Nakama is a word that means comfort and consolation. Our goal is to provide comfort to those who are seeking restoration and a safe place to authentically seek your truth and find your journey. Shekinah, which is the farm that we live on, where Nakama Center is located, is a Hebrew word for the surrounding presence of the divine source. So as you can see, our names are specific to what we believe. Now, we are a 508c1a faith-based organization with a 501c3 in process. Our faith in a divine source, community, as well as plant-based sacraments stem from prehistoric and ancestral practices and personal experiences of our modern members. The source has provided plant-based sacraments that are one of the greatest creations that nature offers, raising our awareness to the divine so that we can access a direct connection to the source of all love. It is our sincere belief that through community and through the consumption of sacred ceremonies and medicines, this communion brings us closer to what we commonly call God. We understand this concept as the concept of God as pure consciousness and energy which permeates all beings and all things. This pure consciousness is, we believe, the ineffable source of creation and the origin of health and well-being. Our vision and mission is to provide a sacred and safe space for the connection of the community in support of mental, physical, and spiritual ascension to the divine and all creation. We believe that all life needs comfort and connectivity to achieve restoration. By having a sacred and safe space, people can fashion their own spiritual journey. Nakama Center is a safe and private setting that provides guidance and integration for those seeking spiritual restoration. We are bringing people together for healing and connection to divine revelation through community and communion with sacred medicines. We ask you to please mute your mics. The first part of our service will last approximately 30 minutes, and it will be recorded and posted on YouTube for community viewing, so we want to make sure our cameras are off and our mics are off. We will begin with a short guided meditation followed by readings to facilitate our journal prompts and the discussion following the service. Prior to the 60 to 90-minute discussion, we will share announcements, updates, and community news. We invite you now to find a comfortable space, to settle in, to be present as we begin our service. Just as the colors of the rainbow unite to make one light, God far above and God deep within, the divine and Shekinah unite in community. Transcendence unites with immanence, one and one, becoming one. We join together in community. together reflecting the divine's splendor. We are the colors of the rainbow, uniting to make one light. The glorious holy throne is here where we meet, ready for the divine to rest upon us. This sacred place uplifts us, here where electrons dance, and the interplay of being and nothingness draws our hearts together, binary code flickering through space, making us present to each other and to the radiance of this day. We crown this day from below, and she enfolds us in a new supernal souls, so that our service and be blissful and praiseful, joyful and radiant, as with shining faces we approach our prayer. We'll take the next few moments to seek, to breathe, to communicate individually with our divine as we are comfortable. All right. Again, if you're with us, please mute your microphones so that we can record this and no one can hear us in the background. While we're still in this mindfulness-centered state, I would like to invite all of us to place our hands on our heart as we take a few moments to send loving intention to our ancestors and the divine for healing through community, sacrament, spiritual awakening, and to all who cultivate or consume sacred plants and medicines. Without the Creator, communion of our members, and sacred gifts that He provides, this community would not exist. The healing done by our Creator through community and sacraments is not limited to the times when we commune and consume, but extends into all aspects of our lives, spreads like mycelium around our world. It is through intention and attention that we call forth the healing power of the divine, of the sacrament, and of the community that we have formed around our common understanding. Let us use our ever-expanding awareness to bring greater peace and healing to our world. Let us radiate gratitude from our hearts to our Creator and to our community and to those who cultivate healing plants, for the gifts impart healing to those who commune with love and sincerity. We become aware of the oneness of life, the knowing that we live in all things and that all things live in us. Let us apply this understanding to all of our relationships and aid us in our journey as members of the human family. Thank everyone for being here today. This week, we are talking about mortality and grief. This is kind of a heavy subject. I'm going to take a little extra time. There's some extra reading for you to contemplate what where our readings are, and to write in your journal. So I'll read this. The first slide has several quotes. It is not length of life, but depth of life. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Every man's life ends the same way. It is only the details of how he lived and how he died that distinguish one man from another. Ernest Hemingway. Our dead are never dead to us until we have forgotten them. George Eliot. Death smiles at us all. All we can do is smile back. Marcus Aurelius. The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. Mark Twain. Our final reading for this slide and section of journaling. Life is eternal and love is immortal, and death is only a horizon. We'll actually have 3 slides for reading today, so we will take a moment to journal on and reflect on this slide. I'll leave it up for you to journal, and we'll have some music while we're waiting. Please take this time to journal so we have something to speak about during our conversation. All right. Take a few minutes to finish your thoughts. Then we'll move on to the next reading. This next slide is on, the first one was, of course, on mortality. This one is on grief, a little more deeper, a little harder to bear. Queen Elizabeth II said, "Grief is the price we pay for love. Tears are the silent language of grief," according to Voltaire. Grief never ends, but it changes. It's a passage, not a place to stay. Grief is not a sign of weakness, nor a lack of faith. It is, again, the price of love. The reality is that you will grieve forever. You will not get over the loss of a loved one. You will learn to live with it. You will heal. You will rebuild yourself around the loss that you've suffered. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Grief is like the ocean. It comes in waves, ebbing and flowing. Sometimes the water is calm, and sometimes it is overwhelming. All we can do is learn to swim. Vicki Harrison. The darker the night, the brighter the stars, the deeper the grief, the closer to God. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Again, we'll take some time to journal about this portion of our reading. If you would like, we'll go ahead and have this discussion at the end when we're no longer recording. All right, let's finish up and we'll move on to our final reading today and journal. These readings are from sacred texts. We use many sacred texts, believing that no single text holds all truths. So we will go ahead and I'll read these from the Bible, whether Christian, from the Christian Bible. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He saves those whose spirits are crushed. This is from Psalms 34:18. The Quran says, and give glad tidings to the patient who, when afflicted with calamity, says, indeed we belong to Allah, and indeed to Him we will return. Quran 2:155 through 156. The Bhagavad Gita tells us the soul is neither born and nor does it ever die, nor having once existed does it ever cease to be. The soul is without birth, eternal, immortal, and ageless. It is not destroyed when the body is destroyed. That's found in 2:20. The Dhammapada tells us that weeping and grief will bring no relief, and so therefore be steadfast. Dhammapada, verse 212. Judaism, the Midrash, states, do not console a person when their dead is still before them, for grief is a personal process that must run its course. Bereshit Rabbah 107. The Tao Te Ching tells us all things arise and pass away. Being at peace with this cycle leads to clarity. With clarity comes openness to all things. Openness leads to harmony with the way. Harmony with the way is eternal. This is enduring, and to know this is to be whole. This is found in verse 16. And our final section, our final quote is from the Talmud. This world is like a corridor before the world to come. Prepare yourself in the corridor so that you may enter the banquet hall. Found in Barakot 17a. Again, I'm going to do half of our time with this first page, and halfway through I'll switch to the second for you to look back on these quotes for journaling, and we'll take another 3.5 minutes for journaling. All right, take a few minutes to finish up your journaling. There's a lot to journal about today. A lot of writings, a lot of feelings. Went a little longer than usual because of the extra, but that's okay. Our announcements this week, we will begin meeting again every Sunday. I appreciate everyone's willingness to allow us to have some of our own healing time as we are in the middle of caregiving for our family members, which is difficult, but we have the power through the divine to continue moving forward, but we need to sometimes take care of ourselves, and I think that's important for all of us. We are hoping to work on starting the path through the woods. We're still working on the property. We do have a bell tent up, which is kind of nice. So we're hoping to, maybe as the weather gets better in the spring, to be able to start hosting some activities. And we thank everyone for all of the help that they're given. I want to also encourage our membership. We do have a membership option at our website at nakamacenter.org that allows you to sign up for a low-cost membership. What you gain from that membership is access to the Discord group where we continue our conversations, and in a safe space. So that might be something that you want to consider participating in. And so we'll move on to our closing. Our divine, we come before you broken and in need of healing. You are our true guide and creator. Act benevolently toward us for the sake of your holy nature. Renew our mind. Provide for us a good week. Remove from us all harsh decrees. Annul the intentions of our enemies. Foil the plans of our foes. Wipe out every oppressor and adversary from against us. Close the mouths of our accusers. Remove pestilence, sword, famine, captivity, and destruction from us. Withhold any plague that pursues us. Pardon and forgive all our injustices. Blot out and remove our indiscretions before your eyes. Erase all the records of our indebtedness. Bring us to you in wholeheartedness and sincerity. Send a complete healing to the sick. Shred the evil decreed against us. And remember us with favor. We have come together with intentions of service to the land and all of its inhabitants. It is in our hearts to go forth into the world with the collective consciousness. We encourage you to stay for continued fellowship and conversation around our readings today. For those unable to stay, we thank you for being with us and wish you a great week ahead. As we further our conversation, please remember that all perspectives are welcome as we search for the spiritual truth that unites us all. Please remember that we are not a medical or therapeutic organization. Statements made by the moderator or members of Nakama are their own, and we are here discovering and exploring along with you. Peace be with you today.